Writing an icon of the Theotokos.
Session 11. Well, the last session we did was a lot of work, a lot of different stages. But if you look at your icon now, you can start seeing her face. Except you might notice that either the paint is there or it's not there. There's no soft edges. So in this session, we're going to soften things up, much like we did on Jesus' hand, where we faded it from color or from light flesh all the way to nothing, back to dark flesh. Well, we're going to soften things up in this session too. So let me fade myself out of the way and make the picture bigger, and let's get to it.
Well, the first thing we need to do is actually mix some paint again. Remember not to do it in your little paint pots, but to do it on some paper. Now, what you're going to be mixing is the light flesh and the dark flesh to make some, well, medium flesh. And the first thing that you're going to do is to put a little bit more of that eye socket, but this time on the top of her eye, on just the larger side of her face. It's going to be a little line that goes under the eyebrow, but only on half of the eyebrow. Take a look at the picture. Also, be mindful to leave some negative space between this kind of lighter ridge that you're putting in and the eyelid itself. Take a look at the picture, take your time. I'm going to give you a little bit of extra time to pause. Then we'll get to the next step after you finish the pause. The most obvious spot where we need to do a little bit more transition is on her cheek, right from the top all the way to the bottom of her chin. So take your brush and make all of that edge a little bit softer. I find this part of the process very prayerful and very satisfying, because if I back up a little bit and look at her face, I can start really connecting with her well. What we're going to do next is blend in a little bit more everywhere else. We want to soften all the edges that should seem to be softer. Remember to keep the negative space where the negative space needs to be. But this time, pause the video and certainly soften things up. And as you pray, take a look at her and see her loving you, holding her son, but her gaze, her eyes are connected with you. Look at her, then fix a little area where you can soften something up, then look at her, then fix something again. And this is going to be a great time to pause and to take your time in making her look at you. Don't overdo it though. Having a little too much softness kind of washes out the entire face. Now is a great time to lighten up things that need to be lightened up. Don't forget to wash your brush, but then with the light flesh, you can add some of the light back up or build up some of the light you already have. Especially if there's brush strokes, you can smooth them out right now. And this is the final part of making her face look like her face. We'll still add details later. We'll see you in the next video.